Hello and welcome back to the Mission Darts YouTube channel, joined today by Andy Cornwall, Mission Brand Manager. And what we're going to try and do today, via the means of YouTube, is we're going to try and give them some little bits of information that maybe they could look with at home. Yeah. And we've got two different contrasting sets of darts, and what we've got today is length.
Yeah.
So we've got the Mission Archon dart, which is quite a long, straight,
it's one of our longest barrels,
And we've also got the Crypt, which is...
I think it's our shortest.
Right.
I think it's our shortest. Just to give the viewers an example there, if we kind of barrel length there, quite a big old difference.
So first of all, what changes? We'll start with the grip. The grip in the hand. Now, obviously, the weight of this is condensed, this is more spread out. Do we tend to find that the grip changes when you change dart, or can you replicate the grip with a longer or shorter barrel?
If you grip, well, let's start with this one. If you grip right at the back of that, and I hold that position, I'm going to be nearly on the flight. So I have to change my grip to throw that dart. Now, that's not the way forward. If you grip at the front, well, you can try any dart you want, because there's no dart that you can't grip at the front. But a lot of people now are either mid to rear grippers, and certainly I am. And you just can't adapt, or I don't want you to adapt. I want you to find the right grip for you.
If I was to balance the dart on my finger like so, eventually what will happen is it'll just find a point in which it holds into place.
Yeah.
Now that's the balance point of the dart. We can see here pretty much that gold section at the back of the dart is tungsten behind the balance point.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to guess this is going to be a lot different in the fact it's going to be a lot further down the barrel, in that point where that just sits.
Yeah.
Now, look how much tungsten is behind the balance point.
Yeah.
What difference does that make? Because I've got more equipment now behind the balance point. So I can still, if I'm a player who likes to sort of push behind the balance point, that's fine. But there's so much more material. That's going to change the flight, surely.
There's kind of three ways that the dart sets off. The dart usually sets off point up. Okay, that's the usual release. We think about the arc of a dart into a dartboard. Sometimes, and I think you're one of these, you set it off quite straight. There's not a lot of movement. It kind of starts straight and finishes straight. And then occasionally, you get people that release point down. Now, this is where the balance makes a massive difference. And because it's longer, if we think about it, if I release the dart point up, what's going to happen here is this dart's going to end up like this. And it's going to take a lot for that dart to pull itself back down again. With a shorter, heavier mass, this dart is going to right itself quicker. If you grip right at the back, this dart is really going to push up at the beginning, unless you set it off point down. Now, if you set it off point down, this is going to be doing what we call fishtailing in the air. It's going to be a nightmare. Whereas this one point down will actually correct itself a lot quicker.
It's quite hard to offer a blanket question because obviously a lot of this is suited to an individual in regards to where they grip. So is there a pro or a con either way round for a longer or a shorter barrel? What would be the blanket answer?
Do you know what? And this might be controversial. Shorter, fatter, weight in a confined space barrels are easier to throw. And I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments now going, no, I've tried them, they're horrendous, I can't do it, it's got to be long for me, the longer the better.
When you practice with other players, you've been on the tour yourself, when someone gets new darts, you always go, oh, let's have a throw with your darts. And there's a player who has a very similar shape to that. And whenever I throw with them, I almost felt like it was too easy.
Yeah.
It always felt like, and then I always think, why didn't I get a dart shaped like that? But, well, so I can vouch for that, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a very good reason why you probably didn't. And this isn't the best example, but if we remember the Phil Taylor dart, the dart that he won at the end lots and lots and lots of tournaments with, it was a lot fatter than this. It was about the same length, but a lot fatter. Now, if you aren't stacking the dart like he does, it's just going to be in the way all the time when you put it in the board. It's going to be in the way.
From what you're saying there, I think we can summarise the positives. Thinner barrels, more space in the treble.
Yeah.
Less deflections, of course. And the extra bit of tungsten at the back behind that grip point or behind that balance point is just giving us a bit more weight distribution across the entirety of the dart, which will allow the dart to go on more of an arc rather than sort of triangular, and a bit of stabilization in the air.
If you pick up this dart and instantly grip it around this point here, which I'm sort of just in front of centre, then I'd be giving a short barrel a go.
I've got it. These are for throwers, they're for pushers.
Possibly. I'll give you that one.